All right, everybody, welcome to CNC 101. We're going to start with a little CAD tutorial. Um, and I'm going to try to make something nice and simple and send this out to you guys so you have something to reference when you're trying to make your drawing. So this is going to be the CAD part of it. We're going to focus on some real simple drawings and let's get to it. So this is opening up Fusion 360. This is what you should have. You can see you got a little bit of, you got your toolbar. If it doesn't quite look like this, that is something we could play around with. But you can see on this button here, we should be in the design. Okay, so we're going to start in design. And then once we've designed our thing, we'll go down to manufacture and uh, make the G code for to send it to the CNC. All right, so we are going to start. Everything starts in Fusion 360 with a sketch. So when I click that, you can see here it gives me some options. It's going to ask me which plane I want to draw on. And so I'm going to choose this one. And that's actually going to be helpful later on. So what you want to do is choose the one where the blue line is coming out of the page. So you can see here my Y is up top, X is to the right, and Z is pointing out toward me. It's not the end of the world if you don't do that, but it will help. So sketches are sort of the background of what we're going to be doing. And so I'm going to try to make a stop sign. And so we're going to do that with a bunch of lines. So you can see here in my sketch, right now I'm inside the sketch and I'm going to click line. And when I'm going to click a point, and you can see here as I start to drag it, it gives me a dimension. And I can actually type, I'm going to type in 2.5, and you can see that. And I click enter and it creates a line 2.5 inches long. We should be in inches. If not, I can get you out of there, but let's make sure you're in inches. Now I'm going to click another line here. I'm going to click on the end of that point. And you can see here, I'm going to click again 2.5. But this time, instead of clicking enter, I'm going to click tab. And now I'm in the degree area. And so I'm going to write that. And now that you can see I've made a 2.5 inch line at 45 degrees. Okay. And I'm actually using my mouse wheel to scroll in and out. Okay. That's something that's you could work on in your settings, but I'll try to explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it, but if I don't, I apologize. So again, I'm writing 2.5 on my keyboard and I'm going to click enter, and SketchUp sort of it'll kind of lock to certain places. You can see here this is straight and it'll lock to 90, and so I kind of it's easy to make lines that are straight and 90. If you want to do something else, you have to kind of tell it what to do. So again, I'm writing 2.5 tab, and this is going to be 135 degrees. Again, the shape I'm drawing is not super critical. Obviously, you're going to have your own shape, but the key is I'm drawing something, right? And I'm drawing it with lines, and I am using basic geometry. So again, I'm writing the dimension, and now I'm going to finish it up by clicking here. Okay, so now that this is enclosed, you can see there's a bunch of dimensions. It looks kind of messy, but I've created a sketch, right? And it should look something like a stop sign. So I'm going to click up here, finish sketch. Okay, so now I have a sketch, and I'm outside of that sketch world. So when I go into sketch, I have different options available to me up here. And when I get out of it, I also have different ones. I'm not sure what this is. I don't know how that happened. All right. So again, I can come in here and edit sketch, and I can see if I wanted to drag something around, but I do not. And so I'm going to finish sketch. So that gets me back out. I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. I'm going to delete. I'm going to keep that there. I don't know why it looks different, but we're going to go with it. Okay, so over here on this left side, you see you can use this to navigate around things. So this will show me all the sketches I have. I just have one sketch. I could name it stop sign. Oh, stop sign. Okay, so you could have lots of different sketches. I'm going to start with just one, keep it simple. So now that we have this, I'm going to extrude. All right, so we're going from 2D into 3D. And so this, when I click extrude, it brought up this box here. And so I want to click extrude. It's asking me the profile. So I'm going to click this. And actually, it had already selected it because I only had one thing. Sometimes Fusion 360 will think it's smart enough to select the thing for you, so it can do that. So I'm going to enter in here the amount that I want to extrude it, so I'm going to do 3/4 of an inch, click enter, and now I'm going to move around here. You can see that was a 2D object, and now it is a 3D object. Let me just go. I'm going to go back one step because I might have skipped something. Go back to extrude. You could see there are a few options here. You want distance. The operation, we are going to want new body, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. And so that is we don't want to taper angle, and we want to start from the profile plane. Oops. So I clicked escape there by accident, so it started over. So I'm going to do it again. 0.75. All right. So now I've got this 3-dimensional stop sign now. And if you following along here, now I have something under my bodies category. So as soon as I made that into a 3D object, it created what Fusion 360 calls a body. So it went from a 2D sketch to now it's a 3D body, and that is important. If you're going to be importing something like an SVG, that's going to be 2D. You're going to need to extrude it to make it a body or a component. Components are really useful in Fusion 360, but we're going to stick with body for now. Okay, so I've got, all I wanted was this, we could stop, but I want a stop sign. So now what I'm going to do is create another sketch. I'm going to click here, create sketch. And when I do that, it is again going to ask me, where do I want to sketch? And I'm going to click the surface. See, it says select a plane or planar surface. I'm going to click my stop sign surface because that's where I want my letters. And now that I have this, I could do a line, a rectangle, but what I want to do is I'm going to click create and click text. And now I'm going to draw a text box where I want my text. And I'm going to write stop. Okay, now I've already been playing around with this, so I've got the right height, but if you can see here, if this was started at a smaller height, that's the height in inches. So you can play around with that until you get a height that you like. You can also play around with your font. So here are your different font options. Something to note that we'll talk about in the class is these .shx's, which are single line text, which can be nice for engraving. For this one, I'm going to use a font that I have previously looked at that I think looks kind of like a stop sign. All right. So now I'm going to click finish sketch and look what I've got. I got a stop sign. Just so you guys know, when I'm to move this around like I'm doing here, I'm clicking shift and I'm holding down the middle scroll wheel on my mouse. And you can see here, I've kind of got it a little bit off balance and I want to get back to my view. I can actually click up here in the right-hand corner is a little box. If I click front, it'll take me to the front. If I click this corner, it'll give me a nice orthogonal view. So you can kind of play around with that. It's going to take a little while to sort of get used to, if you haven't moved around in the CAD ecosphere. And this one is kind of funky. So you can see here, oops, I'm a little off. Anyway, so I've created my stop sign and I'm going to end this video now. Oh. And I'm going to stop recording.